Welcome back, people. I hope you have had a wonderful day. In this one, we are looking at Dogecoin. Dogecoin today has seen a lot of action actually, and we are in the red. So looking at how this one has moved, we started off at 12 AM, so of course this was midnight of this morning. We can see that basically from that point all the way throughout the day, we have seen a dip in currency price. Now looking at this point here at 3:56, and of course this is UK time if you're wondering, this coin price has actually picked itself up by a significant amount. We hit lows down here. The lows were at about 5.5 cents, and we have now picked ourselves up to the high 5 cent range. I think this is good, and I think this comes after quite a positive week for the currency. We can see that we start off the 5-day period on this point here at about 5.5 cents, and once again, coming to where we are right now, we are coming towards the high 5 cent range. We even broke past the 6 cent range on Sunday, and of course that was in anticipation of the potential of this one being on the Coinbase app, which would of course send the currency price flying. Now we have spoken about this one in many a previous episode, the effect that it being on Coinbase could have, so we aren't going to do that again in this one. Tonight though, I'm going to give you all of my opinions on what we have been seeing today and over the past week and even over the past month. So please do make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you do want to hear about Dogecoin and other cryptos and other stocks all the time, because we do talk about stocks all the time, and soon enough we will be talking about more cryptos on the channel, so of course that is something to look forwards to. But now that I've told you that, let's just jump into this one looking at Dogecoin specifically. So yeah, then the past month has brought a lot of volatility for Dogecoin. We started off the 30-day period on a price down here, if it will let me get there, of about 4, or at least in the high 4 cent range. That is good that we have now moved up to the high 5 cent range. So it's not the biggest increase that we have been seeing, especially in relation to what we have seen over the past few months, where in January the coin price took a massive rocket, especially leading up until February as well. So at that point the currency price was about 8 cents, which is good, but of course we have sold off from there. Now, it did get a lot of attention from Elon Musk. Elon Musk was constantly tweeting about this one. I think a lot of people saw this currency as the next Bitcoin. I've spoken about this before. Not all cryptos are going to be the next Bitcoin, and not even all cryptos are going to be successful. If we do remember that, that is important, but Dogecoin does have a very strong backing. Elon Musk is one of the richest people in the world. I mean, at the moment, he is actually fluctuating between the richest and the second richest because his stock price was dropping, so he may actually be the richest at the moment that you watch this video. So of course he's a very influential person, and this is important to note. I think when Elon Musk says something, a lot of people do tend to listen. So we are still waiting in anticipation of whether Coinbase listens to Elon, and if this does happen, if they do listen to what he says, obviously it definitely could have potential of being on their platform, and if it is on their platform, that could also send the price rocketing. But again, regardless of whether it is or is not on their platform long term, the short term results are good. We can see big gains in the short term. Now of course, in the past month we have seen quite a lot of action. From this point down here at late February up until now, we are seeing quite interesting action. So if we do have a look at this one on the candlestick charts, we can see a period where the coin price sold off after seeing this big increase. I think it was bound to sell off, as a lot of people were taking profits and all that kind of stuff, so it does make absolutely perfect sense from where I am sitting. But from there we actually leveled out a little bit for some time. We sat quite stable in this range down here, we can see, and the candlesticks barely even moved at all throughout the days. I think this was a period where people were asking themselves, is Dogecoin dead? Is it going to the moon? Is it going to crash? Well, what we have seen so far is more positive action for the currency. It is up ever so slightly, which does indicate to a nice piece of recovery looking at where we have been moving so far. And honestly, I think this is fantastic. I know it's not the biggest gain that we have seen from other stocks and other cryptos and whatnot, but it is still an increase. This is important and this is significant. I think what we are seeing now is more stable growth, more decent growth, and you know what guys, in my opinion at least, the growth being more stable is fantastic. Of course, Dogecoin does have a lot of anticipation behind it. It has a lot of hype around it. I think people who invest in cryptos rather than stocks are a bit more patient, in the sense that people know what happened to Bitcoin with the fact that even though it did rocket to the moon in the end, it took a long time to get there. I think people in the crypto world implicitly understand this, and I think this is important. I think this is why a lot of people are still holding Dogecoin, because they know that with Dogecoin, if it is going to go anywhere, which is of course still a gamble because we just don't know whether it is or isn't, but if it is, it isn't going to happen overnight. There's no chance of this currency price hitting $1 overnight, or even there's no guarantee of it hitting $1 at all. But if we do want to take those big profits, of course we do need to be patient and wait for them over the more long-term frame. There's something that I have spoken about previously, and I am going to speak about it again. It's the fact that more and more places are taking payment in Dogecoin. This is fantastic. This is important again, because with more places accepting payment in it, it shows that the currency is having a real world effect. The currency is having a real world use, and subsequently may end up having a real world value. And this again could send the currency price rocketing even higher into the sky. So honestly, if you are looking to buy Dogecoin, I definitely think it is more of a long-term hold in my eyes. From where we are standing at the current price, I don't think it is the worst buy. I don't think it's going to dip by too much anymore, in my opinion. I think, yes, you definitely should expect this volatility that we have been seeing. I definitely think that you should be expecting that there is a potential for crashes like this to happen in currency price. But overall, regardless of this, I think long term we can be quite stable on this stock, and we can start to see big growth. I think it is only a matter of a few months potentially before we do see this currency rocket past the previous highs, and that would be fantastic to see. Again, that may not be the case, but where we are standing right now with Elon Musk actually backing this one quite heavily, I think it is another good catalyst, which also further, could further help the growth of Dogecoin into the future. If he does keep advocating it, I think it could have a massive effect. So guys, thank you for joining me for this quick update. Honestly, I am happy with how we are moving with Dogecoin today, and I think it is another day in the right direction. Yes, we are ever so slightly down, we can see, but this strong pullback towards the end of the day is good. I think it does indicate to more strength in the currency and more people buying the dip. So again, a lot of hype is still around this one. I can't see that hype going away anytime soon. I think there is still big potential for this one to still blow up in the long term. Again, long term is something that we do need to focus on, because if we are going to see any growth at all, it isn't going to happen overnight. I think if you do remember that, if you do keep that at the forefront of your mind, you shall be fine when investing in this one, but don't put in more than you are willing to lose. So with all that being said, thank you for this video, thank you for joining us. I'll see you again tomorrow, so join us then again. Goodbye until then.